Okay. This animation's by a animation channel called Private Diary. And this animation is called Sleepover Went Wrong. Let's see how this sleepover went wrong in the first place.
Hi, I'm Jane, and I'm 15. Can one sleepover change your whole life? Let's find out. If you like private...
Yes, a sleepover can change your whole life. I guess you could break a limb or something, and that you've never broken before. I don't know, but this one just seems like it's in a different way. So let's get going.
Private Diary, then press like and subscribe to the channel. My parents were scientists. They were very strict and liked to control everything, especially my life. Mom and Dad decided everything for me. What I should eat, how I should look, and what I'm supposed to like.
Most parents are like that. I don't know what to tell you.
They didn't let me use makeup, and I could only use my phone during strictly allotted hours.
Okay. I'm perfectly fine with that because that's honestly the rules for my sister. So, well, and that phone thing also goes for me. So, I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't know what to tell you for that either. That's just perfectly normal.
Of course, I didn't like that, but I did everything they told me. Why? Well, my friend Emma said I was a coward.
Okay. What is this thing? It's a bunny mixed with a human, but those eyes.
Actually, I'm just neat and attentive. You didn't even wash your hands before eating that apple. Do you know how many bacteria is on that? You're a walking encyclopedia of phobias. Live a little, baby. It was easy for her to say. Emma was funny and popular. She even had a boyfriend, Mark. There they were, hugging each other. I had been in love with Dwayne since elementary school, but every time I tried to talk to him, I panicked and I talked nonsense.
Johnson had
Hi,
hair.
Jane. Could I borrow a pencil?
Jane will borrow a pencil, yeah. Oh, wait, what did I just say? Ugh, he probably thought I was a psycho now. One day, my parents told me they'd been invited to a science conference in a neighboring city. They wanted me to stay home by myself over the weekend.
Jane,
Wow,
you're an
lucky
adult
her.
now. We can trust you, right?
Sure, Dad. I can do it. They wrote down 1,000,000 rules. I wasn't to go anywhere or ask anyone over, since, after all, we had a lot of fragile museum exhibits at home. I was also supposed to take care of Dad's most valuable treasure, a parrot called Prince. That chatty bird was super smart and won a lot of awards, but sometimes felt like Dad loved Prince more than me.
Come on, champ. Say something.
Lightning is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun.
Good job,
Wow,
Prince.
good job,
Soon, my parents
Prince.
left.
You're so
Yay!
smart.
The house was at my disposal. However, my joy was short-lived. After all, it was a huge responsibility, and I was super nervous. I spent the whole day running around the house and checking that everything was still fine.
Okay. I'm just gonna like this video like you should be doing to my videos. Oh yeah. And subscribe. Please. That could really help. It will grow my channel, and I can get more of these animation videos out.
Okay, the lights are off, the door is locked, the windows are all closed. It's all good. Then I checked whether any of my parents' exhibits had broken, and if Prince was doing all right. That chatterbox loved the attention. Prince wants to be groomed. Just a second. By the evening, I was exhausted.
Lucky Prince,
The house turned creepy when it got dark. After all, I'd never spent the night alone before. Strong winds were howling outside. Creepy shadows were crawling along the walls, and tree branches scratched at the windows. Holy crud. I turned on the TV, trembling. I was flipping through channels and eventually came across the news. The newscaster was saying anxiously that a criminal had escaped from a local prison and most likely was hiding somewhere in the city. Oh no.
Of course. And this always happens, and then they're just gonna show up on the doorstep.
Anyone suspicious.
Can you imagine? There was a fugitive in the city, and I was completely alone. My blood ran cold.
That's always, they just always show up on the porch and are like, can I have somewhere to sleep for the night?
Then the wind picked up again. The windows started rattling. The TV started making static noises, and then all the lights went out. The house was plunged into darkness.
Power
outage. And I looked in
outage.
surprise. What was going on? I pulled myself together and I called the neighbors. They told me there were power outages all over the neighborhood because of the weather. Just what I needed. Being alone in the dark was scary. All
You're
the horror
alone?
movies started like that. So I called Emma and I asked her over. My friend happily agreed to come.
You have
I
Prince
hoped my
with
parents
you.
wouldn't find out about
Just
it.
go and
Emma
groom him
soon
more.
came over. She brought popcorn and board games. We can tell each other scary stories. Don't even think
Oh
about
my
it.
goodness,
Oh, that's
scary
right. I forgot you're a
stories.
scaredy cat. You know, it felt like someone was following me when I was walking here. What? That was so creepy! I quickly locked the door. Then we lit candles, settled down on the floor, and started to eat popcorn. I told Emma about the escaped criminal. Wow. And here I thought nothing interesting ever happened in our town. At that moment, we heard a strange rustling noise in the backyard and
It's
tensed
just
up.
her boyfriend,
We
isn't
had to
it?
see what was going on, so we turned on our phone flashlights and went outside,
She's just
clutching
trying to
each other
scare
in
her.
fear. We saw a man behind a tree. I was about to scream, but then Mark, Emma's boyfriend, jumped out.
Called
You
it.
scared us, moron! What are you doing here? It turned out he had seen his girlfriend going somewhere late at night and decided to follow her.
Are you having a pajama party? Can I join you?
I immediately said no, but Emma stared at me with huge, pleading eyes. Come on, let him stay. It won't be as scary
This is
if there's
how
three
all
of
these
us.
animations start.
My friend knew exactly what to say to convince me. I quickly gave in. Okay, just don't touch anything. I checked on Prince and brought sleeping bags into the living room. Then the lights came on all over the house, and the TV also turned on at full volume.
How would you be
I
scared
squealed
if
in
the lights
surprise
turned
again.
back on?
You're even
What?
afraid of your own shadow. Since the power was back on,
Bruh.
Emma and Mark decided to head home, but I convinced them to stay. After all, anything could happen. They agreed, and I happily climbed into my sleeping bag and immediately fell asleep. It had been a long day. I woke up because of a strange noise. I could hear music and laughter.
What were they watching
Emma and
to?
Mark weren't in the room. That was weird. The sound was coming from the backyard. I went back there, and
They were
I was
throwing
left
a party.
speechless. Someone had thrown a party at my place.
Of course they
It
were.
was a disaster. My parents would go ballistic if they found out about it. I found Emma in the crowd, and I demanded an explanation. It turned out that after I fell asleep, they got bored and asked a few of our classmates over. You're nuts! They need to go.
Okay. Adobe.
To go! Now! Oh, don't be a grumpy bore. Everyone's having fun. They're not doing anything wrong. And look who else is here. My friend smiled slyly and pointed at
Ew.
Dwayne.
her crush is here.
Wow, he came too? This was my chance to finally talk to him. I agreed I wouldn't chase everyone away just yet. But soon, I regretted my decision because more guests were arriving by the minute.
Of
Soon,
course.
everyone headed into the house. I couldn't relax even for a second. I kept running around, making sure no one had broke or stained anything. Hey, that vase is 500 years old. You can't put gum on it. Stop jumping on my parents' bed. Who let a stray dog swim in the pool? I was
stray
about to
dog.
lose it. The party was turning into a disaster. The guests were noisy
Wait.
and messy. My parents would crowd.
Aren't her parents out on a trip for, or like a business trip or something, for the whole entire weekend? This has only been less than a day, and she's throwing a party, and she's complaining about it. I could clean up my whole entire house in less than a day, so.
Crowd me for a year. Watch it. Ugh, they paid me no mind. And the most annoying thing was that Dwayne was flirting with other girls and didn't even notice me. I decided to take a break and I went to the kitchen to get soda. There, I slipped on something sticky and I almost fell, but Dwayne's strong arms caught me. Oh my, that was nice.
Are you okay, Jane?
Well,
I'm melting like ice cream.
What?
Oh, the ice cream melted because the power went off. That's why I slipped. I could have looked into his bottomless eyes forever. But then I heard some noise and a familiar voice. Freedom to the parrot. Oh no, someone had found Prince. I rushed upstairs and I saw some boys opening his cage.
Wow, he can talk. Say, cool party, Jane.
I ran into the room and started waving my arms around. Don't touch him! That's my dad's parrot! Oh, I wish I hadn't said anything.
Prince.
The boys hesitated, and that cunning bird used the chance to get out of the cage and start flying around the house. Prince is the smartest. Prince wants pizza. Cool party, Jane. Oh no. Dad would have a heart attack if something.
Prince wants some
Held
pizza.
3 issues with 1 answer. I
Lucky
recommend
Prince,
new
he gets
sensitized
pizza.
sensitivity gum and
I don't get pizza.
Something happened to his parrot. I tried to grab him, but then the worst possible thing happened. Prince flew out into the street. And I was done for. Tears stung in my eyes. What was I supposed to do now? Emma was nowhere to be seen. The sleepover hadn't gone according to plan, and it got completely out of control. But then Dwayne suddenly offered his help.
Cheer up, Jane. We'll put your bird back in the cage. Let's go.
Why
hand
does his hand look like a creepy old man's hand? It looks like an old man that just got out of a hot tub's hand. Of course. And then I'm just squishing this squishy over here because it's the only thing making me like focus to the video, because this thing's so annoying and makes weird noises. So, yep.
And we ran outside. We saw Prince's colorful tail ahead of us and chased him. What a wonderful night for a walk. Come back, you feathered jerk. I'll make a roast out of you. We kept chasing him.
They need to make a animation story about Prince the parrot. He's my favorite character already.
Dwayne even had to climb a tree, and I fell into a puddle. But it was all for nothing. At some point, we lost sight of Prince. I gave up and just dejectedly sat down right on the sidewalk. It was over.
Cheer up. It's not the end of the world.
Yes, it is.
You wouldn't understand. I told Dwayne about my relationship with my parents and how strict and demanding they were. Mom and Dad controlled my every move. This weekend was my chance to prove that they could trust me. But now, things would only get worse. Dwayne sighed sympathetically and put his hand on my shoulder. I looked into his eyes and I almost drowned in them again.
Jane, I get it. My parents are the same. They want to decide everything for me. I know they care about me, but I still stand up for myself when they tell me what to like or think. You should try that. After all, one day you won't even get to choose your own friends anymore.
Oh, well, Dwayne turned out not to be just handsome, but also smart.
Excuse me? What would I get? I would probably have friends that I don't even know that today, so I could have a new friend tomorrow that I don't even know. 90% of the time, I just find random people on Fortnite, and I'm like, do you want to be friends with me? Well, that was like 3 years ago, the last time I did that. 3 years ago. I was back in Chapter 2. I can't believe Fortnite's been around for this long. Well, back to the animation.
Smart and really interesting. I fell head over heels in love with him all over again. But would I ever find the courage to confess? There was a pause, and we started leaning toward each other when the magic moment was ruined by Prince's screech. Oh no! Prince is lost! Dwayne and I looked at each other in surprise.
Ready to refresh your style?
Of course!
First, tell us how you like your clothes to fit.
As soon as I hear Prince, it just goes straight to
He said
Dad.
that the sound had come from a dark alley ahead of us. We ran there, and I saw something that made my legs give way. A few homeless people were frying something over a fire and licking their lips. Oh no, it couldn't be. Any other time, I would have pressed myself against the wall and burst into tears. But Dwayne's words inspired me so much that I decided I would stop being a coward. I glared at the men. Today was the worst night of my life. I'm run off my feet chasing my parrot. And you just cooked him for dinner? You won't get away with that. They looked at each other, frightened, and said they would never have done that. They were just making ordinary hot dogs. Oh, I took a closer look and realized it was true.
They weren't gonna
something on my shoulder.
That fast.
I turned my head and I saw Prince. He gently nuzzled my cheek with his beak. Prince loves Jane and wants to go home. Oh, you had us so worried. I apologized to the men and I went home with Dwayne and Prince.
I didn't know you could be so brave. Keep it up. I like it.
I smiled shyly. Things were looking up. I returned Prince to the cage, and I decided to have some fun. But then, I got a text from Dad. Because of the strong wind, a tree had fallen on the road and blocked it.
For a second, that was so realistic,
they were
that
coming
ding
back.
sound.
What? The party was still in full swing. I stood on the sofa so everyone could see me, and I shouted that I needed help cleaning because my parents were coming back. The music immediately stopped, and all my classmates quickly left. Great. Just great. But my closest friends stayed. Emma, Mark, and Dwayne.
Don't worry, baby. We'll help you clean up.
We chatted as we picked up the garbage and did the cleaning. The house ended up looking cleaner than it had before the party. We were fishing out the last chip bags from the pool when the lights went out again. It was time for them to leave, but the boys volunteered to go down to the basement and see if the generator was fine. Emma went with them to help. Meanwhile, I went to feed Prince.
The lights are clearly on.
As soon as I opened his cage, I heard a noise downstairs. I put the parrot on my shoulder and I went to check. Hey, who's there? I shuddered when I saw someone lock the basement doors so my friends couldn't get out. I shone the light on my phone at them and I was stunned. It was the criminal I'd seen on the news. No.
Nice place you got here.
I called it.
Just 1 day ago, I would have been paralyzed with fear. But now, I was determined to show that guy he'd broken into the wrong house. I cheerfully shouted that I was gonna call the police, and I ran to the kitchen. He chased me, but then he slipped on a puddle of melted ice cream and fell. He tried to get up, but Prince wouldn't let him.
Shoo!
Meanwhile, I was calling the police. I'd run out into the corridor and locked the criminal in the kitchen. And then I let my friends out of the basement. The cops soon arrived, handcuffed the criminal, and took him away.
Wow, Jane. This
Why
is all
didn't
thanks
you
to
just
you.
lock the door?
My friends finally went home, and I waited for my parents. When they came back, they looked around suspiciously.
Everything looks fine. Did anything happen while we were gone?
Nah, it was just an ordinary, boring evening.
Wouldn't they have seen it on the news?
That was close. I went to bed, and Dad went to check on his parrot. That's when the truth came out. Prince ratted me out. Cool party, Jane.
Why did he say that?
Oops. I had to admit that several of my friends had come over. Mom and Dad lost it. What if my friends had broken something? What if something had happened to me?
But it didn't.
What if the guests had trashed our house? They asked me hundreds of what ifs. Dwayne was right. I had to defend my freedom. Or one day I would just turn into their puppet. It's fine.
This is the
Nothing
moment
happened.
where they just turn into anime
characters. You were
characters.
too controlling.
How dare you say that? We're just worried about you. Go to your room. Now. You're grounded.
Whatever. I slammed my door and left. In the morning, my parents decided I couldn't even be trusted to get to school by myself anymore. And they gave me a ride. I'd had it with them. But that wasn't the worst part. They decided to walk me to my classroom.
Walk you to your classroom. That has to be the most embarrassing thing ever.
However, when the three of us walked in, all my classmates suddenly fell silent and stared at me, and then started clapping. Wow, what was going on? The party yesterday was awesome! You're a school legend now. Then, the police and reporters with cameras came up to me.
This is the brave girl that helped us put the criminal back in prison.
My parents stared at me in shock, and my classmates enthusiastically asked me to tell them what happened. I saw Emma and Dwayne in the crowd. They winked at me, and that gave me all the courage I needed. Hand me a microphone. I gave an interview, and the police gave me an award for bravery. After everyone had calmed down, my parents asked to talk to me. Now that they knew the truth, I was really done for. But to my surprise, they hugged me proudly.
You're a very responsible, brave, and sensible girl.
Wow,
Jane,
5 seconds ago you were
more
like...
freedom, and we shouldn't have tried to control your every move.
5 seconds ago... What? Why did I pause it there? Okay. 5 seconds ago, they were saying how irresponsible she was, and now it's saying how responsible she is because she put a criminal back in jail, prison, whatever. But that was Private Diary, Sleepover went wrong, And if you want to see more of these videos, please like and subscribe because that will grow my channel so I will be able to do more of these videos. See you guys next time, and bye.